Good morning, students. Today in this video we are going to start a new chapter, that is conditional sentences. Conditional sentence. In this chapter you will read about conditional sentences, the sentences which depends on condition, based on conditions. Here you will see various types of conditional sentences. First is zero conditional sentences. Okay, these sentences are called zero conditional sentences. These sentences are used to talk about things that are always true as long as the condition is met. In such sentences, the if clause and the main clause are always in the simple present tense. Okay, these kind of sentences, zero conditional sentences, always say the truth. Okay, like if you heat water, it boils. If you heat water, it boils. The condition is if you heat water. And it is true, it will boil. Okay, the truth is that it will boil. If the sun goes down, the daylight fades. Condition is if the sun goes down, what will happen? The daylight fades. This is only going to be happen. No change in that. So this is the truth. In zero conditional sentences, the if clause means if you heat water, this part, or the main clause always remain in the simple present tense. You can see if you heat water, if the sun goes down, this part which is in blue, that is a main clause or if clause, it is in the simple present tense. Okay. What is the form of the zero conditional sentences? The zero conditional sentences takes this form: if plus present tense plus main clause in the simple present tense. The if clause can come at the beginning of the sentence or at the end. Means both the possibilities are there. If the if clause comes at the end of the sentence, we do not use a comma. Here see the second example. Vegetables lose their nutritive value if they are overcooked. Here if has come at the end, so we haven't used comma. But when if is coming at the first place, not in the beginning, we are using the comma. Okay, so this is the difference between these two. Now we will come for the second conditional sentence. Second is conditional sentences 1 or open conditional sentences. Such sentences where the condition may or may not be fulfilled are called open conditional sentences. Okay. For example, see the first. If you keep running without stopping, you will be breathless. If you keep running without stopping. The condition is if you keep running without stopping. In the first sentence, you may or may not run without stopping. So it is on your choice. You may run without stopping or you may not run without stopping. Okay. So conditions are may or may not be fulfilled. Similarly, in the second sentence, he may or may not shout for help. If he shouts for help, his friends will come to him. But it is the condition that he may shout or he may not shout. Okay. So here also the conditions are not fulfilling. So it may or may not be fulfilled. The if clauses in these sentences state conditions that are open and there is no indication if the condition is likely to be fulfilled or not. In this type of open conditional sentences, the verb in the if clause is in the simple present tense and the verb in the main clause is in the simple future tense. See, if clause is in simple present tense and the main clause is it in simple future tense. The modal verbs can, may or shall can be used in the main clause. Okay. Here in this main clause, the modal verbs can, may or shall can also be used. Like if Bhivesh goes home early, he may go shopping. Here one example is given there where we have used the modal. Now come to the next. Conditional sentences 2 or hypothetical conditional sentences. This type of conditional sentences states a condition that is improbable or unreal. The condition is not likely to be fulfilled. Such if clauses are called unreal or hypothetical clauses. Okay? Like if I were an astronaut, if he had a magic carpet. So what are these? These are unreal. This never happened. Okay? In this type of hypothetical conditional sentences, the if clause is in the simple past tense. It is in the simple past tense. The if clause takes were instead of was, even with I and he, she, it. This is a very important point. In this kind of clauses, the if clause will take were instead of was, even with I, he, she, it. If I were, it's not written if I was, it's written if I were. The main clause takes would, might or could because it is also in past. Okay, so it will also, the main clause will also take the past verbs like would, might, could. Okay, now we will go for the last one. Conditional sentence 3 or conditional sentences showing unfulfilled condition in the past. Okay, like if you had admitted your mistake, the teacher would not have been so angry. So these clauses, these sentences show a condition that was not fulfilled in the past. If you had admitted your mistake, means he has not admitted. Okay, this is unfulfilled condition. If mother had arrived early from office, she would have taken us to the movie. This is unfulfilled conditions. So in this type of conditional sentences, the if clause uses the past perfect tense. See, had is there. And the main clause takes would plus have plus past participle form. Okay, would plus have plus past participle form of the verb. These sentences are called conditional sentences 3 or conditional sentences showing unfulfilled conditions in the past. So these are the descriptions of 4 kind of conditional sentences. I hope you all have understood. Now after going through with this video, you are going to solve all the exercises in the book itself. Thank you everyone.